so very much, Chief Anita Nana Okuribido. You are always a pillar of strength for us, and you have not failed us. Thank you so very much with this presentation. Really, you gave a very conclusive overview about the challenges we face, why we face it, what we should remember, and where we go from here. Very encompassing. I'm sure there are some questions for you. I want to remind people that, first of all, I've shared the Spirit of Peace and Prosperity booklet on the chat menu, on the chat section. So you can download it and see programs that we've done and programs that's upcoming. And I also want to give the floor to some questions for the speakers who have spoken before, not only Chief Anita, but also Otumba Bimbola Ashiru. So if you have any questions for those guys, for the previous speakers, please do act now before we move on. Thank you very much. The floor is yours. Questioner?
There's Beekman has a question. Berea Beekman.
Thank you.
Yes.
Dr. Bara Beekman.
Yes, I have raised my hand. Greetings, family. Dr.
Greetings.
Anita, I enjoy your speech, your statement, your presentation.
Thank you.
Yes, but to tell you honest, not for 100%. I can tell you why. My first visit to Nigeria, where I was overwhelming because that was the first time you can imagine that you are living in Europe, you're living in Suriname, where you see all nations of the world, and you're living in Europe, where you see a lot of white people. Then you enter to Nigeria. I can tell you, I cry. I cry. Every bus where I was sitting, I was crying. Because it's the first time in my life to meet the Black world. Okay? So then I was at a conference in Abuja, no, in Lagos. And in fact, there were presentations like your presentation. I was in Ethiopia, I hear the same presentation. And now I hear the same presentation about Africa, the leadership, blah, 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 blah. Thank you for that. But what I would like to suggest to African views is the next time that, because when we talk about Africa, I consider that Africa have 55 nations, 55 countries. You will tell me that amongst these 55 countries, we cannot have at least 20 countries where we can say, okay, they are doing well on every aspect of governance and government. These are the stories that I want to hear. I want to hear that it is that in Uganda, for instance, the gender-based politics, that it is successful, for instance. I want to hear about Egypt and Ethiopia, about the water problem and how it affects the economic development at Ethiopia side. I would like to hear about Libya, because in Libya we had free education, free housing, blah, 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 blah. So I would like to know the status of the development on the agenda 2063. I cannot believe that after 30 years I hear about the leaders while the people who are choosing the leaders. And what I also want to hear is the added value that the African diaspora can bring to Africa. Because it is not always that we are referring to the wealth, the knowledge of the African diaspora, besides if it is about remittances. So I think that we can have a better understanding of the African world if African Views the next time can deliver a statement where we can be proud on Africa. Because if we look at Europe, most of the time they are giving analysis of some of the countries in Germany, France, Belgium, but what I want to hear from Africa, from presentations, is that you can be glad because in Rwanda, in Botswana, and this and that, and so forth and so forth. So that's it. Let me see if I have everything. Libya, the leaders. Oh my God. So, okay, I want to hear that there are more Mandelas in Africa, of Mandelos. I don't know how you will mention the woman. Maybe I have to say Winnie Mandela. But don't take my comment as your speech. Don't, because I understand it. But for me, it's very important that African View Ghana, or the ARC, that next time they deliver also statements about the prosperities of the different countries. In Europe, when they talk about Africa, Africa this and Africa that, I explain to them, don't talk about Africa like it is a country, because Africa is one of the biggest continents in the world. So what I would like to tell the people is that amongst the 55 nations, we have 40 nations that are successfully on the several areas of concern. I rest my case.
All right, so you have your time coming up, so you're going to be speaking and you can speak to that at length. So obviously, your question wasn't quite clear. What was your question?
Wale,
Yes.
I understand our question.
Okay, great. Do it.
Yes, I
Please
can
answer.
respond to the question. Actually, I'll be honest with you, she said it all. And I'll be honest with you, what she's trying to talk about is the sincerity of purpose. That she's visited Nigeria, she's had people talking, and they are saying they're painting glowing freeballs, but when you get there, what is on ground is not there. And I think it boils down, and I'll be honest with you, it boils down to the level of poverty in Africa. Because let me be honest with you, the moment we start deciding, and I have to say this, I'm sorry, I'm not patronizing the women. Women are better leaders anywhere in the world. Look at Margaret Thatcher. Look at all the decisions she made when she was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And look at everywhere women, I'm sorry for women, I mean, don't take me for it, but I'm just trying to say, for women, you see, they are passionate about things they are doing, and they have sincerity of purpose. But I will tell you this, the poverty level in Africa will not let us do the right thing. And I will tell you the reason why I said poverty level, because the politicians, I happened to be, I was going to contest for the post of governorship in Ogun State, my state. And I saw what I went through. I mean, I spent so much money. And I said, it got to a stage, and I said, look, if I continue to spend this money and I win the election, what happens? I have to recoup my money. And this will be at the detriment of the people of the state. And not only that, if you see what happens in Africa when leaders are taking over, they have hostile takeovers. So when they take over, there are so many projects that the successor and the predecessor is doing, they will jettison that and continue with their own project, abandon the one. So it increases the level of poverty. And another thing is that, look at what happened in South Africa today. They jailed a former president, and there was this riot. Who suffers for it? It is these people that are suffering. It is the poverty level because you are going to suffer for it. Now, in South Africa, to enter the shopping mall, they queue for about 3 hours. You have spoiled so many things, you have attacked, you have stolen many things from the store, from the supermarket. The supermarket owners, they have insurance. They will recoup their money. But you are going to suffer for it till they recoup their money, until they now store the stores. So whatever it is, we must get to a level that we ourselves as Africans, we must start voting for the right leaders. You don't, when they spend money, take their money and tell them, I'm going to vote for this guy. Look at this guy in Liberia. He was a sportsman in England. He became the president of Liberia from nowhere. So it clearly shows that until we start bringing the right leaders, voting for the right people who have integrity, who have conscience, who have sincerity of purpose, we will continue to have this problem in Africa. So basic thing is poverty. They queue, they give them money, they go and vote. And when they get there, they abandon them and they start doing whatever they like. Until we start letting our leaders accountable to us, ask them questions. They must have time. I mean, Boris Johnson cannot do whatever he likes in America, in England, in London as a prime minister. He will be questioned. Joe Biden cannot do whatever he likes, even despite the madness of Donald Trump. He couldn't do anything he liked because they got him out of office. So what I'm saying is that until we start facing our leaders and let them be accountable, we can never, because it's a culture of Africa that we must kill. Until we start telling our leaders that, no, you must do this. I will tell you this, I served as a commissioner for 8 years, and the only collateral I took there was my integrity. And I'm happy I left with it intact. I did not steal a penny, and nobody can confront me and say, look, this is it. I wanted to contest, they couldn't blackmail me because they know I did everything with integrity. So until our leaders start doing that, and people with second address, you must be a professional first. Politics is not a profession. Politics is act of serving. When somebody says I'm a professional should avoid those people. I listened to Zuma's interview that leaders everybody should be accountable, blah, blah, blah. So now the thing has now turned back against him. Is now questioned. So those are the things I'm saying. I appreciate what Ms. Blackman saying. She's saying it the way it is. The problem of Africa is leadership and poverty. Until we solve that, we cannot get anywhere. I'm sorry to say this.
Thank you very much. You know, Otumba Ashiru was nominated for, he was a recipient of the Best Commissioner of the Year in 2015, Most Outstanding Commissioner, Most Proactive Commissioner, an award honor for outstanding leadership in Manufacturing Association, an appreciation award, the Ijebu Man of the Year, the Capacity Man of the Year. I mean, that list goes on for recognitions of excellence. And this is the reason why he has been awarded some of this. But I'd like to hear from Nana Anita as well. Chief Anita, can you respond to Dr. Bickman's comment, please? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wale. I really love her vision. I mean, she wants to hear the positive side, you know, of the achievements. But the point is, first and foremost, my topic is cultivation and preservation of the world of wealth in the African world. And I really have to just put it the way I see it. You know, we have cultivated, particularly our past leaders, immediate post-colonial leaders, cultivated because they were still very honest, transparent as of that time in the 50s, you know, even as far back as the 40s. But what is happening now? I am saying that after the cultivation by our, you know, post-colonial leaders, 20, 30 years down the line, we have not been able to preserve it. I'm also happy, I would have been happy to state some achievement or to say that my country, Nigeria, is, you know, has the best governance structure, you know, in the continent, but it's not happening, so I can't say it. Like I mentioned, it's only Rwanda from my own research. Yes, it's only Rwanda in the African continent that I would, in fact, I'm like, once I get back, Right now I'm in the US. Once I get back to Nigeria, I'm like, I want to visit Rwanda. It's the country I want to visit. I know, some top women, in government in Rwanda, and I want to network with them. So, Madam Beryl, I appreciate your thought process, but the situation at hand, it's not just like that. So, and we have to say it the way it is. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much for your answer. Don't worry, Dr. Beryl, Vickman, you will get your chance to speak and you can bring the good news, okay? It's tough in the African world. It's hard to make things up. People often report what they see. And this is exactly why we're doing what we're doing, so that we can find the good news. And there are good news. We have witnessed some good news in Ghana, but all the same, politics aside, I mean, if you want to find good news, you have to completely put politics aside. If you're able to do that, then we'll begin to see some marvelous news coming out of Africa. There was good news with the COVID. People were surprised that Africans are not dying like ants as expected it. But now things are changing, so again, we're worried. But anyway, you'll get your chance very soon. Thank you so very much.